So yeah, how's it going, everyone? My name is Min, and basically, I'm going to tell you guys my story on how I decided to quit my current job to pursue full-time trading with the prop firms. And basically, what I learned from the past year and a half having to trade with this prop firm, as well as how much of experience that I had working, trying to like work full time as well as like day trading for the past like 5 years. And my experiences, what I learned, what made me decide on quitting my job today, um, or this week, I guess. And yeah, so to start off, I have a like this group and everything, and it's Tradeism. And the reason why like I named it Tradeism is because I love trading, so like I'm super passionate about it, and yeah, it's like an addiction, right? So that's why I called it Tradeism, because it's like the ism part is regarding like the alcoholism concepts, but not really the same thing, I guess, because it's more about making money rather than actually having to drink alcohol. But yeah, so I ended up I was working at like a telecommunications company like Rogers for quite a long time, and I have about like 4 years of that company, right, under in terms of experience. And I didn't really like learn that much prior the prior 3 years of working there, but this final year I definitely have become more reasonable, more logical, and more disciplined than I've ever been since the time of like having to start at that career. And yeah, during that time as well, I was like always like trading stocks, options, and all that. And I always had like really huge losses and everything, having to trade full time. I basically kept blowing out my money, and I did that for like literally 5 years straight, where like I just did not make money, right? And the amount of money that I put into the market was roughly 150 to $200,000, and it was a really tough environment that I put myself in. I always like ended up telling my friends and family, um, you know, that like I'm trying to pursue it full time and everything. And I had times where like I did quite well, but then with in terms of like substantial and sustaining myself and everything, I took way more on like more burdens and more losses than I could ever imagine, and it was really stressful, right? Like I had a lot of moments where I really cried about it, and I think every single trader goes through that. Um, but now basically like I got to quit, and I'm trading full time, so it's really a blessing in disguise, right? And what I learned out of all of that was that in trading, right? Like you can't just trade with like whatever amount of money that you have left and expect to get something in return. That's I think that's one of the biggest things that I've come to like an understanding is that if you have no money in your bank account, right, and you're trying to like gamble the last amount of money in your reserves to do well in trading, all I can really tell you is that you either get really lucky, but most of the time that's like only like 1 to 5% chance of getting that lucky to be able to get that small amount of money working in your favor. And I realized that after like thousands and thousands of like market hours, right, that honestly like money is like a very like fickle thing, right? Like it's easy to come, it's easy to go, right? But I feel like when you attach yourself emotionally to that value, that intrinsic value of what money is, you're more likely to take bigger losses and not be in the right mental space, and having to lose most of that, right? And I think a lot of people struggle with that mentality the most. It's just having to control yourself when you're having like a drawdown of some sort, and being able to overcome that was like one of my biggest challenges, while trading. And all I can really say is that from my experience, I've learned that, one, you're gonna have like a substantial amount of money. Like I truly believe that. I truly believe that, having like a good amount of money in your reserves, whether it be 30, 40, or $50,000 just sitting in your bank account ready to be used in case anything happens, surprisingly, yeah, you do need that in your account in order to like control yourself in case something happens, right? And not feeling frustrated like and hopeless that you have nothing to fall back on. I feel like that's the one thing that I learned from trading. Having to have money in your account is the biggest relief, right? Regardless of the outcome of trading, at least you have something to fall back on. That's what I learned. And then there's also another part, right? Aside from like the money in your account and everything, being a disciplined trader. Being a disciplined trader doesn't just entail it doesn't entail just like having to sit in front of the screen and constantly doing the same setup constantly, right? I feel like in terms of lifestyle, a lifestyle is one of the biggest indicators, one of the biggest things that help you psychologically, right? And without having a proper discipline in real life, um, most of the time, I guess you could say like 90% of the 95% of the traders don't have that kind of discipline where they can you know achieve their goals not by choice but doing it, right? So that's basically what I learned, while working at Rogers in my last year. um, I had some really great leaders, and basically the way they taught me was, um, look, if you're willing to risk something to do in your career, right? You gotta be very disciplined to keep yourself in mental check in case something goes wrong, right? You can't go on tilt. You gotta treat everything like a business. And basically, one of my managers told me that like when you're like I guess you could really say is when you're like disciplined enough to, for example, go to the gym every single day, and you can do that 5 days a week without even questioning yourself, right? That itself is discipline. Being a disciplined trader isn't easy, and neither is being a disciplined gym enthusiast is easy either. Like it's not really easy. And I feel like when I first started that job, I was actually weighing like 240 pounds at that time. I was super miserable, and like I basically lost everything at that time. Like I didn't have a single dollar on me, right? While working at that job just a year back. And it's because I fell through like a cycle of self doubt and very like depressive thoughts overall. And you know what I learned from that um, is that when I started that job, and I started surrounding myself with people that had like-minded endeavors and also like-minded goals, I was able to actually force myself in like out of that depressive state, and I was able to achieve my goals physically and psychologically. And that itself, with the 1 year of working at Rogers, it really pushed me over the edge. It really helped me develop the right personality and discipline to be able to achieve trading in a consistent manner. Um, so one of the things that I noticed is that, for example, going to the gym every single day, 5 days a week, whether it be 3 days a week, but you're still clocking in those 3 days a week, it's very important to have, because it's like you don't even have to ask yourself to do it, right? You just do it. Um, the same idea comes with trading. When you're taking a long position in a trade, and then you have like a profit target that you want to take and not be too greedy, or you have a proper stop loss, it's like you're kind of like respecting that. Just the same way that, you having to go to the gym every like 3 days a week, it's the same idea. You're respecting that rule that you gave yourself. And long story short, I went from like 240 pounds to like 170 pounds within a year. right? Of having to work on myself consistently, and that itself improved my confidence, um, and in life, and also towards trading. And I feel like that's the one of the biggest reasons why I started succeeding, and um, I decided to quit uh, Rogers, right? And even now, I continue to consistently head to the gym, do my necessary workouts. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna be, but for myself, I only spend about 30 to 45 minutes a day at the gym, doing the same things over and over again, and not being bored, right? Even if you're bored, it's like at the end of the day, it's like you wake up one day and you kind of like look at yourself and you kind of think, I really need to hit the gym, and what comes after is the biggest part. It's like, even though I look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself I have to go to the gym, am I actually gonna go do it? That's what the biggest thing, right? So me training myself and looking in the mirror and then saying I need to go to the gym, and then me having to go to the gym, that's discipline, right? Being able to set out, um, and do what you want and also what you need, right? And not giving yourself a choice. Same idea now applies to trading. If I were to take a long position just right over here, right? I want to take a long position just because like there's a support and I have fundamental reasons behind it, right? And I don't pull the trigger. It's because I'm not disciplined, right? It's like, oh, I know that all my levels are right here at this price are correct. So why am I not initiating that trade, right? You have to ask yourself that. Now, that itself applies to having to go to the gym, right? Why am I not going to the gym? I need to go to the gym. Why am I not going to the gym? That's exactly what I learned, having to work at Rogers. And they had like a really solid structure of guidelines that, I followed meticulously. I made a lot of great friends who I'm looking to keep in the future. And yeah, like, aside from having to work at a great company and everything, I was just doing sales at the time. I would say that, one of the biggest reasons why like I started doing better was working, and that itself was, long story short, like that itself was the reason why I did well. So I'm quitting my job now. Basically, my last day is going to be on Friday. I'm going to be going on vacation for about a week because of the money that I received from getting paid out, and yeah, I'm hoping to constantly pursue my dream, my dream career. And it's been a dream for 5 years, right? And with no success, and now this upcoming year has been a little bit more successful and more consistent. I'm looking to basically show everybody that as long as you don't quit, right, and you just keep going after what you're going for, you're gonna make it at some point, right? You're gonna come to inevitable goals, right? Like, it's gonna happen. But in the process of that, always make sure to look out after yourself as well. You know, you can't just be doing nothing, right? You can't just look at the charts for 10 hours a day and then expect a result when you haven't even done something for yourself, right? When you're in front of a screen and let's say you lose money, right? You just lose, like, let's say $500. That's going to affect you mentally, right? And that's going to catapult into the next day after that. It's the snowball effect, but in a negative way. So same thing applies to yourself. Work on yourself. Work on your either, whether it be physically, psychologically, doing things on a daily basis that you need to do, not because you chose it, right? Things like that will help you out, develop a very strong psychology in trading. And I'm just a scalp trader too. I don't like hold my trades or anything like that, and I keep them very short and simple. And I take maybe like 5 to 10 trades a day. But with that, I always end up executing the same trade over and over and over again. And it's from having so much market experience to be able to tell which way the direction of the market is going. And on top of that, even though I have all that experience of the market, the biggest challenge for me at that time was just having to pull the trigger. And, hopefully you guys can do that too. But yeah, my name is Min. And yeah, I just wanted to share that to everyone out there who are having trouble with trading. And I just want to encourage you all that, you should never quit. It's like if you want to work on yourself, that's a 9 to 5. You can go to a 9 to 5 job, do that for a whole year, save up all your money, and prepare yourself. If you're able to consistently make a little bit of money through prop firms, I think having to jump at that choice and not wasting all your youth and energy having to work for a 9 to 5 job. If you're unhappy about your 9 to 5 job, don't waste your youth for that. You know, don't waste all that energy that you have while you're young. I'm 27 years old, and all I can say is that I came to the conclusion myself that I shouldn't waste my youth and energy working for somebody, right? And yeah, that's it. Um, Thanks for watching. If you guys like this video, feel free to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and follow me on my Discord if you guys ever want to. Yeah. Thank you.